too.
Do you have a preference, Barbara, on writing plays or novels? Do you like one more than another, or do you like them both equally, just in different fashions?
Novels, 100%, because of what I couldn't do while writing a play. I couldn't be inside the characters. The actors got to do that, and which is wonderful. And it's really quite a remarkable experience to see actors take on your words and create these characters that you suggest, but they really live. That there's something wonderful about that. For me, it's much more satisfying to write fiction and to write novels.
We're going to jump into the inner child question segment. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. First question, Barbara. Helen owns her own bakery. If you had your own bakery, what can we plan on seeing in stock?
Uh, Wonderful, wonderful brioche, morning buns with a little cinnamon and cardamom, and beautiful pies and great pastries. But we would also have some nice gluten-free options for the gluten-free people in the world, because I have many friends who are gluten-free, and I'm sort of gluten light, but I cheat a lot.
My mouth is watering with just already sensory details of what being in Barbara's bakery would
Right.
smell and look like. What pies would you make for sure?
Oh, a sour cherry pie,
Ooh.
peach pie, love peach pie. In fact, Lucy in the book, first time or one of the times she's in Helen's bakery, she is overwhelmed by the aroma of this fresh peach pie and had planned to just run in and grab some bread, but ends up staying there and watches Helen interacting with Henry, and also has a conversation with Henry, and he tells her about his band. And so that's an early meeting. So yes, the fresh peach pie, absolutely.
Mm. I love peach pie. It's just
Me
like
too.
a yummy harvest warm.
Summer.
It
It's the
totally, yeah.
taste of summer, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were 7, Barbara, what were some of your favorite things to do?
Well, when I reading and reading, um, reading, and then by the time I was 8, I was writing stories. When I can't remember if I was 8 or 9, I wrote, directed, and starred in my first play. And it was put on as a big production in a friend's attic. There was a curtain, all the mothers came, and it was a great success. So writing always for me, I had this moment when I was 5, actually, when I was walking to school. I might have been 6, walking down a hill, and I had this intuitive moment in which I knew that one day I was going to grow up and be a writer. How I knew that, it just sort of came to me, and I thought, okay, that's what I am.
I loved building stage productions when I was little too.
Did
That's
you?
made tickets and costumes,
Yeah.
everything.
What
Oh
is more fun than that? And there is, I mean, one of the differences that is so striking between writing fiction, writing a novel, and a play is when you're creating a play, it's such a collaborative. You know, they're the actors, the director, the writer, the all the designers, and there's a wonder in that. That's just beautiful. When you're writing a novel, you're alone in your room, and so it's not it's a much more solitary pursuit, and sometimes I miss the collaboration. But what's been great about having just published this novel is I get to talk about it to people like you, and read from it, and stuff like that, and that's really wonderful and share it, because it's kind of like having a child and you're pregnant with it for quite a long time, and then suddenly out in the world. Your child comes and other people react, and in that way it's similar to having a play. But I love sharing it, and I love talking about it, because the book really reflects things that I love and care about deeply.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel a sense of surrender, Barbara, with your book, kind of like you do with your son?
When it was published?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into a completely different phase. And yeah, it's now out in the world, and it belongs to whoever reads it. And I'm in relationship in a strange way with the unseen reader. And sometimes I get emails from readers that are very moving, and I love that. Um, so yeah, there's a definite surrender in birthing a book. Yeah.
Can you share with our listeners before we end today what you feel is a creatively abundant life?
I think expressing what you love, what you care about, bringing what you care about and what matters into your own life. In What Jonah Knew, which raises questions about rebirth, ancestral trauma, all of those things. In a sense, what I really would like to impart to readers is, if you do take a longer view of life, and that our lives are not necessarily bookended by life and death, that consciousness extends beyond life and death, then what matters so much is how we live right now, how we treat one another, how we treat the planet. Those things really matter right now, this present moment. So, in a way, it's like taking the very long view and telescoping it to just how we treat each other, and doing in your life what feels most authentic, and an expression of your deepest, truest self, which is sometimes hard to balance that with, the realities and finances and stresses of our very contemporary lives. But to the degree that we can, and hold that vision of being able to fulfill that life that we would like for ourselves, is something to aspire to, even if we can't necessarily do it in this moment.
Amen. Yes. 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 Where can they find you after the show if they have any questions for you?
My website, barbaragrahamauthor.com. I guess you're going to put it up on a link to it. That's great. And you can contact me there. You can buy the book there. You can read about the book there. You can read a little excerpt of the book there. There's a lot of stuff on my website. So that's a really rich source.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Barbara. It's been an absolute delight to chat with you today.
Lovely, Lori. Thank you for having me. And ditto, it's been lovely to chat with you.
Thank you for everyone who has joined us today and who will listen in. Remember, as you go about the rest of your week, to find the things that are working in your life. Check in and find something that's your story. What do you want to create? And we'll see you right here on Monday at 1:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with Charlie Pulsifer. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Lori. It's been fun.